Yeah, Daniel, hopefully you can hear me, mate. I'll start with you. As the time's winding down, the buzzer goes, you get the Gatorade shower. I'm just wondering what's going through your head in that moment after such a long season and everything you guys have been through, particularly recently.
I thought the Gatorade shower come pretty quickly. But yeah, no, winding down. You know, we just needed to get the ball in bounds a couple of times, and it was game over. And I thought Chris and the boys cut well, and we were safe with the basketball. And then, the emotions of, hey, that was a hell of a tough team that we just played against. And Trevor did a hell of a job. Absolutely was coach of the year this year, and what he showed in the finals when he didn't have all of his talent and the way he disrupted, the way he did things, they did a hell of a job. And then, special mention to Kevin White, like what he did in the final series and the way he, with Mitch not 100% as well. I thought, Kevin was amazing. But yeah, the emotions of, stay humble to start with, and then, hey, let's enjoy this because this group absolutely earn it. They sacrificed like every other team did in the league. But yeah, this was a group that started the year. The group had COVID. We went through that whole thing at the start of the year, and from that point, we came together as a group and we looked at what the other sporting codes did in Melbourne and seeing Richmond and the Storm, and we wanted to be a part of that. We wanted to be one of these teams that in lockdown, COVID, whatever it is, we want to come through the right way, and we got there.
It was kind of, I guess, a funny situation how you get to game 3, you had to play the first 2 in Perth, but then you get to play in front of your fans for the first time in a long time. You got off to a really good start, but just in general, the emotions and I guess the enjoyment the guys got out of being able to celebrate with family, friends, and in front of their home fans.
Yeah, it was perfect, in that regard. But the kind of the home and away part just didn't have its relevance this year. It's like, where are we playing? It doesn't matter if it's home and away. We're playing in Perth. We're playing a semi-final game 1. Home court advantage doesn't really matter too much right now. It's just going out and playing and dealing with what the league threw at you. And it's nice to say that we were pretty resilient and came through that challenge. But yeah, to celebrate at home, and it still felt like it was pretty packed tonight, even though it was only still half full. But amazing to win a championship on your home floor.
And I'll ask you about Jock specifically. I mean, at the start of the season, a lot of people made a big deal that some of the things he was saying, championship and busted all this, and for him to be the guy that there was still a little bit that happened, but hit that turnaround baseline. Jock got that fight there that felt like it was a bucket you really, really needed. What can you say about Jock and his performance throughout this whole series and what he brought? Yeah,
it was one of the ones I debated in my head for a second. Do I take it on the end line and use the 24? Do we just go and get a good shot and not have to deal with their pressure? And we left time run out a fair bit on that play, and he made a massive shot on that turnaround. What can you say about Jock? Ultimate competitor, comes to work, every day and competes, and the battles that he and Joe Cool had, right from the get-go in pre-season to all the way through the year, and the respect that those two end up having for each other and the way that they fought, it made Jock a better player. It made Joe a better player, all throughout the year. But he was on a mission. He wants to go to the next level. He wants to win a medal. He wants to be in the NBA, and he was driven all year. And you need people like that to win a championship, that are trying to get to a higher level or have an absolute motivation to win, like a David Barlow and those guys who are
closing out their careers, and they just know that these opportunities don't come around. And Jock's a fantastic player, and we were fortunate to have him for a year, and especially being a Victorian kid, having him be at Melbourne United, and hopefully this will be his home. Whatever happens in his career, we're always here for him. And Chris, I'll ask you, one of the things I've enjoyed through the season is asking you after big performances, maybe quieter performances, and the whole time you said, well, I just want to win a title. This is about being unselfish, whatever is best for the team. So when you get that, you get to this moment now. I know it's so soon, but how satisfying is this feeling when you think about all the other things you've done in your career, but this moment right here?
It's amazing. This is why we lace up our shoes every single day. I tape my ankles every single day to come out and have this feeling right here. And it's hard to explain to people that haven't had it yet. So that's why I was so proud of our guys that bought in this year to try and experience this feeling right now, because it's not guaranteed. My first year as a development player, we won the championship with the Brisbane Bullets. And I was like, wow, this is what we do. And then, it deserted me for 10 plus years. And I'm sure there's guys in our locker room that are like, oh, how good's this? We just roll in and win a championship. And Dino said, you never know when another one is going to come. So enjoy this. And, we preach that message all year. The sacrifices that you make will be worth it. And I'm so proud of our guys. I hope they enjoy this, and I hope they feel like it was all worth it, because I certainly do.
And how unique is this group? I mean, you spoke about some of the teams you've been on previously, and you've been on really talented teams that haven't been able to get there. So with this group and the sacrifices they made, is this as unique as what it feels like it is, with the amount of individual talent you had to come together this way?
Yeah, obviously every year teams try and surround themselves with as much talent as they can. But it's the intangibles that go into every day, every road trip, every, team meeting, Zoom call that make it what it is and made us what we are. As Dean said, we experienced the full force of the pandemic in the preseason, and I was so proud of our guys when we hadn't trained for a month and we were only allowed to come in and shoot for 30 minutes, that there was never a stage where we looked for excuses or we looked at other teams that had been scrimmaging and playing against teams in the preseason and, were up to speed early. We wanted to be a team that had no excuses. We wanted to be a team like Richmond, like the Vixens, like the Storm. And, for the guys that were on that early Zoom call and spoke about that, it's so cool to now be sitting here and having that. So shout out to those teams for the motivation. Victoria Strong, we've been through a hell of a lot of stuff this past 18 months, and hopefully we made some Victorians proud, but I'm rambling and I'm so happy and I'm proud of my guys because, guys like Scotty Hobson, if Scotty Hobson plays the whole year last year, he's close to the MVP with Bryce. We sign him and he wants to win, and we sell him on a bench role where he plays, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes a night, and that guy is the ultimate professional. He wanted to win. He competes at practice, and oftentimes he is dead set the best player on the floor, and we've got him in a bench role, and I'm so happy for him to win a championship, and I'm so happy for him to come out and produce massive buckets and defensive plays like he did today. Apologies.
Dean, just one more for me. For you two in particular, it feels fitting that you two are young. They've answered there. Dave Barlow, Sammy Short has been with the club for a few years, but to be sitting next to Chris right now, and you guys have obviously been through a fair bit, it also has to feel pretty good.
Yeah, I've talked about, Chris's defensive year, and I thought it was amazing. The things that he did at the defensive end, the activity he had with his hands, and he found some really hot patches through the year as well. But his body was good, and his leadership was great. Even today, where at shoot around, it wasn't quite at the level that he wanted, and he's dragging the whole team in to say, I just need you guys locked in. And having a guy that's been through it and experienced it a few years ago, it was so important that the messages that he sent, the drive that he gave everybody to talk about the sacrifice, and it's going to be worth it. And he had good support around him this year, and yeah, phenomenal to win another championship with him, and hopefully we can find a way to get another one.
Yeah, Chris, just following on from that, Dean's probably not going to want to talk about himself too much, but he's done a long apprenticeship and now he's a 3-time championship winning head coach. Can you talk to me about Dean as a coach?
I just went into the coach's room and I said, Dino, how many chips is that for you? 3 as a head coach, how many as an assistant?
4.
So to be a part of a coaching staff and come away with 7 championships is amazing. And what doesn't get brought up enough is this man's work ethic. And coaches ask players to work hard and put in the hard yards and sacrifice, and we've said it. But and from the moment he walked into the club at Melbourne United, I was struck and I was in awe by his work ethic and the amount of time he spends watching basketball, talking about basketball, cutting film, looking at wrinkles and plays. Shout out to Christy for dealing with you because the man is a workaholic, and it goes to show that hard work pays off. Three championships in 6 years as a head coach. So proud to be a player for this man.
What does it mean for you to celebrate this championship as a father? How much more special is that?
Well, I'm a little worried about my baby girl because she goes to bed at 6:30 normally, and she was cracking it on court. I don't even know what time it is. What is it? 10:30. So my wife's in for a tough night, I'm sure. But I have to give a special mention to Molly, my wife. For a large part of this season, she has been raising our daughter by herself. We've been caught in numerous lockdowns, her in Queensland with her family, me down here. So the strength of that woman blows me away and motivates me to work hard every day and try and give them the life that they deserve. So to now have this as our final destination in the season that's been really tough on everyone is amazing. I hope they know it's for them. I love them.
And now, how much would you like to be part of that Boomers team for Tokyo?
Yeah, I've actually, I'm not going to drink anymore. I'll be in the gym tomorrow morning because my attention will turn to that. I mean, championships are phenomenal. Representing your country is amazing. I've been lucky enough to do it at an Olympics and a couple of World Championships. If I'm tapped on the shoulder and asked to do it, of course, as I said, sacrificed a lot of time away from our family, but for the Boomers, willing to do it again. My family understands that. It's a massive honour. I'd love to be a part of it. And
Dean, just last one from me. Would you be surprised if both Chris and Jock aren't in that final 12 for Tokyo?
Absolutely surprised. I see the squad has kind of trimmed itself down a little bit today, and they're both special guys and both have special skills and enjoy really big moments. And to me, they're a fabric part of the Boomers to me. But I'm not a selector, and I'm sure they'll go over to Vegas and do everything that the qualities that they have that are shown in the NBL, and we'll see it on the international stage, and absolutely wish the team and those guys the best to try and get that medal.
Darren. So Coach, what was said about your team's depth of talent? I'm sure not many people would have predicted that the starting lineup through the second half of the season and through the playoffs would include Mason Beatley and Sam McDaniel. Can you talk about the role that those two guys played, in particular Mason tonight, when Perth were coming at you? He came up with a couple of quick and important baskets for you.
Yeah, Mason was huge tonight. The 3 in the corner at a big moment. I think 3 up fake, step through, move, in the middle of the lane. And again, he talked to me the other day, and we were putting him in positions where it wasn't him shooting the three. And he talked to me about, he's like, Coach, I'm not going to mess with this season, but I'm shooting threes next year. And to go see, that one drop for him tonight, outstanding. We just loved Sammy Mack's defense, and that's what got him the starting role. And I just, seeing his game expand, and for him to go through this series and get the confidence of starting, and we just see his career continuing to progress. And we see him as a development player through the roster to now a starter, and we just want to see that continual progress for year on year.
And what are the next few days going to look like for you? How do you plan to celebrate? Because you probably won't have too much time before plans for the next season kind of creep up on you.
Yeah, free agency in 2 days, and it's kind of that's the craziest thing. So obviously we go pretty hard tonight, and we get together in the next couple of days as a coaching staff and review everyone that we've got on our roster. We got some pretty key decisions to make with our roster over the next couple of days, and hopefully some of our free agents loved doing what we did this year and want to return.
Right, thanks, and congrats again.
Cheers.
Last call. Any questions? Sweet. Thanks, guys.
Let's go. Thanks, guys.